Hello, welcome back. Episode 5, Eskimo Brothers Review. I'm the Alpha and the Omega. This is just the Beta.
Hi.
Today we're doing The Running Man from 1987, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, based on a Stephen King book. It takes place in the futuristic year of 2019. So you get that 80s version of the future. It's the basic plot is, if you've seen The Hunger Games, The Hunger Games is a total ripoff of The Running Man. With an extra ahead of its time kind of angle on the news media, kind of manufacturing the news in the way they want instead of just reporting it. So the movie's a lot more relevant now than it would have been in the late 80s. What did you think of it?
This is, I didn't know what to think of it coming in. I don't ever recall hearing about it. But once he kind of described it to me, I was interested, and then I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is actually a really good movie. I'm not like an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. I don't hate him. I don't love him. He's just kind of whatever for me. But I really enjoyed this one. I like the films with the dystopian type features. This was like kind of this. I don't want to say the same thing, but a lot of them are pretty similar. Like 1984, The Matrix, RoboCop, even Idiocracy. But they all have this certain style and feel to them, and I really like that part.
Yeah, I think this is one of Arnold's more underrated movies. It's not one you hear about a whole lot.
Yeah, I was looking at the reviews, and they were not great. But no, I really like this one. I don't know what that was all about. I think I had a pretty interesting cast. Arnold looked pretty young. He says 1987. I don't know his career or film span, but yeah, he looked pretty young. He had a nice blue collar beard for some of it. When he was you could say he was a prisoner,
yeah,
temporarily. He had this nice blue collar beard, made him look more like a construction worker or or something like that. But I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, going back to the cast, you have a whole plethora of different people that you wouldn't really think would be in films, especially all together. Like there was my favorite was Jim Brown, being from
Dynamo.
Yeah.
Or no.
Fireball.
Fireball.
Fireball. Yeah, my favorite was Jim Brown. He didn't really have a lot of speaking parts, not even a major role in general.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up in the Great Lakes region, Jim Brown was pretty important. Some say the best NFL athlete of all time. Some say.
He played for the Cleveland Browns, right?
Yeah, Cleveland Browns. He was definitely one of the best running backs. But yeah, you had him. You had the drummer for Fleetwood Mac, Mick Fleetwood.
His character's name is Mick.
You had Richard Dawson.
Yes. Richard Dawson, famous from The Match Game and being the host of Family Feud, the original host.
Yeah, he was pretty funny in this. I really liked his role.
I think Richard Dawson's probably actually my favorite part of the movie. His watching how he's different on and off the camera.
Oh yeah.
That contrast of how he is, that's
kind of like I guess you could say a lot of celebrities might be like that.
Mm-hmm.
People say that, so in this film he's a game show host.
Yeah.
Or like what appears to be, I don't know if they ever say it, but it seemed to be like the most popular.
Yeah. It's the #1
show in 2019. But he's a game show host, and he's really upbeat and cheerful and giving away gifts and happy. And behind the scenes, off camera, he's the typical dick.
Yeah.
He's, needs things a certain way. He doesn't like what certain people say or do, and, everything has to be his way, and just he has a harsh attitude towards everyone.
I love the behind the scenes, like, for the game show aspect of it.
Yeah.
That was really well done.
Yeah, I like that too. The fashion, I want to bring up the fashion real quick, because so in a lot of these late 80s and early 90s movies that depict what the future is supposed to be, they do have this kind of like 80s, like, I don't want to say like bar, like disco, like going out, fashion, but it's a little more sparkly, a little more geometric. It's like pretty much the 80s, like, party.
There's always more
outfits.
silver.
Yeah, there's always more silver. It's so shiny. I don't know why people think futuristic, they have to think of like silver and metal and shininess. I don't get it.
Did you notice on his the suit they wear for the game show? Up on his sleeve, there's an Adidas logo.
Yeah. Well, I didn't notice that, but there was. It's not a spoiler, but there was a short part where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character was going through the airport, and he was trying to go to Hawaii. And around him, there were like 3 or 4 guys that had these Adidas, I think it was like windsurfing shirts or something like that. And I'm like, that's interesting. And then I saw when he's on the game show, he's classified as a runner, and himself and the other people he's with in this game show, they all have Adidas branded, like, I don't want to say jumpsuits. They're not like track suits.
And
but yeah, they're
a futuristic onesie.
Yes. Yes, Adidas brand futuristic onesies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that fashion is just, it seems to be the same in a lot of these films. But it's interesting.
How about that fashion with the main actress? There's a scene where she's working out, and she's wearing like lingerie to work out.
Yeah, I think that had to do. That was weird. But I don't know. I guess people do that when they're at home. They wear that to work out. I don't know. I think that was kind of to show her relationship with Arnold Schwarzenegger's character. Like, he comes in and she's all kind of like sweaty, and she's been working out, so her heart's going probably, and then she sees this ripped, I'd say pretty handsome guy come in, and he's like holding her down at one point and holding her mouth so she can't scream. And so there's kind of a strange pre-sexual tension, you could say. And you can kind of think, like, throughout the movie this something may develop, is what I thought that possibly could have been. And then, like, so this was based on the book by Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't read the book. Have you?
No.
Okay.
I've like seen like a synopsis of it.
Okay. So I don't know how much of this film is based on the actual writings or how much of it's, different.
From what I understand, the major differences are Ben Richards, the main character. He enters the contest on his own instead of it's not a prisoner thing. He enters it on his own because his daughter is sick or something and needs an operation.
Okay.
And the show actually is supposed to take place all across the United States, where he's supposed to run from them and the stalkers come after them.
Oh, okay.
And the major revelation at the end being, before he even started the game, his wife and kid were killed.
Oh.
That and Ben Richards is supposed to be an average-looking dude. So Stephen King wasn't happy with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And that's the thing, with the name
being cast.
With the name Ben Richards, I don't think of someone who looks like Arnold. I think of some dweeb. So, some guy working in an office.
I like the part towards the beginning when Arnold says, "I'm not into politics, I'm into survival."
Yeah, that's a good quote.
"I'm not into politics," says the governor of California.
But yeah, in terms of like, since I don't really know the difference between the film and the book, there are in the game show. So I guess we'll talk a little bit about that. Arnold's character is what they call the running man, and that's just someone who is supposed to attempt to escape, even though realistically that's not like an option. Attempt to escape and run away from these stalkers, and these stalkers are just people who are just go and kill this dude for fun, or not just him, but previous people before him as well.
And like the audience there for the taping, like Richard Dawson will call someone's name and they'll get to pick who the next stalker is that gets sent after them.
Yeah. Which I think, that's a pretty cool idea for like any game show.
And it shows like society, like morality breaking down too. The language they use, the old lady cussing a lot.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of old ladies, like there was a lot of older people in the crowd.
Yeah.
And so to me, at first I'm like, that's really strange. And I'm like, well, maybe it kind of like signifies like how long this series or the show has been running, like how long it's been going on. So like these are like fans that watched it for many years.
I think it was just more shocking to see like the older people cheer for blood.
Yeah, the bloodlust.
Yeah, I think that's what that was supposed to be.
Okay.
At least that's the way I took it.
I guess that does kind of make sense too. But yeah, so these stalkers, they're almost like cartoon character-esque, you could say. Their outfits are even more ridiculous than everyone else's. So the first guy is, I just call him like the hockey guy. He's
Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Sub-Zero, but they spelled his name with a Z when they were taking all the bets. Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. There's pretty muscular man of Asian descent playing hockey with this. His stick is like a blade.
Yeah, a hockey stick. It's like.
So almost like a weird scythe kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was his weapon. So I thought that was pretty interesting. He had hockey gear and everything too. There was a chainsaw guy who was a big buff guy with like light eyes and blonde hair, and he was a master with the chainsaw. There was the electric opera guy who
That was Dynamo.
Yeah, that was Dynamo. He who just sang opera, which if it was him, it was decent.
It was.
I mean, oh, okay.
That was actually that actor.
That's pretty cool. And he had this suit that made him shoot electricity. So I thought that was weird that he had like two things, like he shot electricity and he would just sing opera for no reason. I don't get it. And there was Jim Brown's character who had a flamethrower and a jetpack and weird hair. And then there was Captain America, I call him.
Captain Freedom.
Yeah, he was pretty much Captain America.
And Jesse Ventura.
Yeah. Yeah, his character.
Another United States governor.
Yeah. That is true. So yeah, all those combined just made it, a nice, interesting film. So yeah, I like the set design and the different characters and the overall story and plot.
I noticed a lot of the action scenes. There's a lot of close-ups. I think probably to hide the smaller budget. They didn't want to show off that it looked a little cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard complaints before that it looks like a made-for-TV movie.
Really?
Which I guess, but I don't know. It doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cinema, and this, I didn't have an issue with this. It was pretty enjoyable.
Let's see, the music, I always got to talk about the music. They went with more like a electronic kind of score. which really worked well for the movie. Usually I prefer the more traditional classical arrangement with the orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
But for this movie, the electronic score really suited it well.
Yeah, it's just missing some dubstep. That's what we needed for 2019. Some dubstep music.
No. The director, Paul Michael Glaser. Before this he had directed episodes of Miami Vice, I think, maybe T.J. Hooker. But he was most famous for being in the '70s TV show Starsky and Hutch. He was Starsky. So there's just one little extra piece of trivia there. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. It was a good amount of action. I mean, some of the dialogue and lines were kind of cheesy. And
Well, it's got that Arnold Schwarzenegger one line
yeah. Which,
kind of humor.
Yeah, I guess for that era and these actors and style, it makes sense. It goes well with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, overall, I was a big fan of it. I definitely recommend it if you like that type of stuff and you haven't seen it yet. Because it does say a lot about. I mean, even if you aren't like a great action fan or anything like that, it does say a lot about human characteristics and just the way people are and can be.
Yeah.
And like mob mentality and things like that. So I do highly recommend it.
Alright, you have anything else to add?
I don't have anything else.
Me neither. Alright, well, next episode is going to be on Superman 3.
Yeah, number 3.
So we'll see you there.